What is the one thing that determines whether you're attractive or unattractive to a man? In this video, I'm going to share with you one powerful secret that, frankly, I don't see anybody talking about that will give you the power to be attractive to a man and keep his attraction for you. Hello, Sassy Beauties. My name is Katie. I'm a dating coach and relationship expert, and I help smart, attractive, successful women attract and keep high quality men. If that sounds like you, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, and be notified when I post new videos every week. Have you ever wondered, despite being smart, attractive, and successful, why there always seem to be a point in your relationship where men pull away, lose interest, or just want to back out of the relationship? I was very much this way too, okay? I wanted to figure out, like, what was I doing wrong? Because I thought I must be doing something wrong. So when I discovered this secret for myself, I was able to turn this around really quickly. So I went from dating my then boyfriend, now husband. I was dating him, and once I discovered this secret, I was able to get him to propose to me, and not just propose to me, but to be excited about marrying me after just 9 months of dating. It can literally happen very quickly once you understand the secret that I'm about to share with you. What I'm about to share in this video is more advanced, right? This is not the conventional advice that you hear everybody saying, you know, just be confident, independent, be happy with your life. This is not that advice. I think you girls are ready for some advanced training. And I think to really get the transformation you want, we need to go deeper, okay? We need to understand some of these more advanced concepts. What is the secret? To be attractive is to own your emotions. Now, let me explain what that means. A lot of men worry about potentially hurting your feelings. He worries about being the bad guy, right? He worries about, feeling bad about himself because he hurt you unintentionally. And a lot of you complain about men not committing to you. Maybe in the beginning, he said, yes, I'm ready for a relationship. I'm looking for a relationship. Okay. And then after a while, he starts to back out and say, I'm not sure now. I'm not sure if I'm ready for a relationship. Or maybe he told you he's not ready for a relationship, and then directly after you, he gets straight into a relationship, right? So I want you to notice that if this is a pattern for you, then it's probably something you are doing or saying, right? And my gut feeling and my theory on this is you are saying something that is giving him the impression that he has to take care of your feelings. He's responsible for your emotions. And you know this is you if a man says to you, I'm not ready. Okay, I can't promise you anything. Right? I don't get your hopes up. Okay, I like you, but I can't promise anything right now. What he is doing there is he's trying to manage your emotions for you, because he senses, right, your emotions are a little bit, you're hanging your emotions on what he does, whether he stays or leaves the relationship. And he doesn't want that responsibility. He feels like that is heavy. I want you to think about this like someone hands you the keys to this massive, beautiful mansion, says, okay, you can live in this beautiful mansion, but the rule is you have to make sure everything is neat and tidy and clean every time I come over, every week when I come over. And if anything's out of place or anything's messy, then I'm gonna kill myself. Right? Like, it's a bit much, right? We kind of feel like, I can't really promise that because I don't want you to kill yourself. I don't want to have that burden, right? It's a dramatic example, but I just want to demonstrate how he's feeling. Like, it's a bit much. I don't want that responsibility. So he tells you, look, I love you and care about you, but I don't want you to have high expectations. I don't want you to expect anything from me. He's like trying to manage your emotions by saying that. And here's the thing, ladies, you do make him responsible, right? A lot of you believe you will be heartbroken if he left you. You do worry about him breaking your heart, leaving you for someone else. You would, if he was to break up with you and hurt you, you would blame him. It would be his fault. Okay, and I was very much like this too, so I don't blame you, right? But the only reason we think this way is because we don't fully understand how emotions are created, where our emotions come from. Emotions are like this mysterious thing that a lot of us don't understand. So here I'm going to tell you where it comes from. So here's how it really works. Your emotions are created from a thought in your head. Okay, it comes from your mind, right? Your mind, it generates these thoughts, these dialogue, this story in your head, and that gets translated into an emotion that you experience in your body. So if a man was to break up with you, your thoughts would be, he doesn't love me, he doesn't want me, he doesn't care about me, I will never see him again, I will never be with him again. Okay, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. It's very dramatic, right? Your brain makes it very, very dramatic. An analogy I like to use is reading books. I wanna use this example. So there is a reason why books has more of an emotional impact on us than movies. Okay, so I remember back in my 20s, the first time I read The Notebook. So there's a book called The Notebook. It's like, it's a romance story, and there's also a movie based on it as well. But I remember when I first read the book, I bawled my eyes out by the end of that book for like probably an hour, okay? It was probably more like half an hour, but I definitely bawled my eyes out. But the movie didn't have quite as much of an emotional impact on me. Like I was sad, but I wasn't really bawling my eyes out watching the movie. And I think about why that is. And I think when we're reading the book, as we're reading the sentences that the author masterfully crafted, we adopt the thoughts that our character is thinking, okay? And the things they're doing. So we become that character for a moment. So when our character experiences a loss, experiences a breakup, we feel that emotion in our body. But the reason we feel that emotion is because our brain is generating that with all those thoughts, all the stories, all the dialogue. As we're reading it, it creates the emotion in our body. Okay, so this is a really good example, I think, of how our emotion is created. There has to be some kind of a story, right? And a lot of times our brain, if you feel a very strong emotional reaction to something, it means there is a string of thoughts, of sentences that's probably quite dramatic, like I'm gonna die, or he's gonna abandon me, something super dramatic happening up here that you may not even register. Like a lot of times we don't realize what those thoughts are. We just feel it in our body. Now we understand this, right? That seems to make a lot of sense, that our thoughts create our emotions, and intellectually that is very simple to understand. And yet emotionally, okay, that's very hard. It's a very challenging thing for a lot of us to grasp. You may acknowledge that, yes, it is my thoughts that create my feelings. However, he still triggers my thoughts that create my feelings, right? You still think that, it's because he did that. That's why I'm thinking this thought that's creating my feelings. So it's like, it's still his fault. It's still him. The only reason you believe that is because you don't think you have a choice in how to react or respond differently. You think reacting this way is the only option, okay? And I'm telling you that is not true. Your thoughts are optional, right? You can choose to respond in a different way. You don't have to choose the thoughts that you are defaulting to. Now, just because your thoughts are optional doesn't mean you would want to feel happy if he broke up with you, right? Like we forget that. We actually don't want to be happy when bad things happen. We do want to feel sad about that. Okay, but I want you to notice the slight difference when you think I want to be heartbroken if he breaks up with me versus I don't believe I have a choice but to be heartbroken if he breaks up with me, right? There's a slight nuanced difference there. But it's so important because if you just own the fact that you're choosing to be heartbroken, choosing to believe the thoughts that's going to make you feel heartbroken, then you own yourself, you own your thoughts, you own your feelings instead of just blaming him, putting it on him, which puts you in a very powerless and helpless position. Another example, and where I see this showing up, is chasing reassurance. A lot of you, when you watch a man pull away and start acting unsure, you start to chase reassurance from him. You ask him 1,000,001 questions, wanting to know how he feels about you and where he sees the relationship going, right? Seeking reassurance. And the thought there is, I need to know where I stand so I don't waste my time. Okay, but the assumption there is he has the power to hurt me. He has the power to waste my time, as if you didn't have any part to play in that relationship at all. Like, I want you to own every single decision you ever made to get to where you are now. Like, own, you decided to go on a date with him. You decided to keep seeing him. You decided to like him and fall more in like with him. Don't tell yourself, I had no choice because he led me to believe he loved me. He made me think he was committed to me, right? Notice the verbiage there. He made me think. He led me to believe. Right? There's definitely a bit of disempowering thoughts here, as if you didn't have any choice in that equation at all, as if he like did some kind of voodoo thing and had the ability to somehow like get into your head and put thoughts directly into your mind that you forced you to believe. So I want you to own that you decided, you chose to believe him when he said he liked you. You chose to believe him when he said he was committed to you or wanted to commit. Right? There's a difference there. Own your decisions. Stop blaming men for how, they're playing you, they're breadcrumbing you, they're being confusing or infuriating. This may be triggering for some of you, but I want to say that the reason you don't want to take responsibility is because you're still under the assumption that you don't have any power over your thoughts, like they just happen to you and there's no other way to think about this or react to this. Like this is it, right? And I just want to offer that is not true. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean you have to believe it, okay? But also sometimes you may choose to believe it and you want to own that too. Whether you choose to believe a thought or choose to dismiss a thought, that is still you owning that decision. Another reason you may not want to take responsibility, and this is definitely me, is because you're probably trying to avoid the shame that your brain will stack on top of all the other negative thoughts, right? Thoughts like, I'm an idiot. I should have known better. I knew I was going to get hurt, right? Thoughts like that, these shaming thoughts, that's going to add to your misery, add to your pain of just the initial him leaving. Okay, and I know of you think those thoughts are also not optional, and it is. You have a choice to actually not believe the shaming thoughts, dismiss the shaming thoughts, stop the shaming thoughts. And in fact, I recommend that you do, because shaming thoughts are not useful at all. What does it look like for a woman to own her emotions? Realizing your thoughts create your emotions and that you can manage your thoughts if you want to. You don't have to, but just owning it is your thoughts creating the feelings. What that looks like is she stops blaming him. She takes accountability for her behavior. She stops trying to control him. She stops being pushy, demanding, and needy. She processes her emotions on her own. She communicates calmly but firmly. She gets over things faster. She doesn't hold a grudge. She lets things go. She spends more time being the person she wants to be. She isn't in a rush. She slows down and enjoys herself. She enjoys her time. She isn't concerned with how fast or slow he's going, because she's not hanging her emotions on a man. She owns herself. Notice how those behaviors, once a woman realizes it's her thoughts that create her feelings and she owns that, all of those behaviors naturally become much more attractive. okay? And notice a lot of that is the not doing, the non-action. And in fact, is the non-action that causes our attractiveness, that makes us more attractive, because a woman naturally being who she is attractive. That is why thought work is so important. I'm putting together powerful training that will go deeper into this and help you really do this work with yourself, do the thought work with yourself, and really master your thoughts and master your emotions. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to my videos every week. Subscribe to my email newsletter. You can sign up in the links in my description and you will get first notification when the training is ready. That's all from me this week, ladies. Do this work, rewatch this video if you have to, and I will talk to you next week.